at Olga Jarbatova. She from Czechoslovakia, 23-year-old. She's a great all-around skier, isn't she, Vicki?
Yeah, she really is. She's been around for a long time. This is about her 10th year, I think, on the World Cup. She's been around. She was around when I was around, which was a long time ago.
No comment there.
Nope.
Olympic bronze medalist in downhill, and she's also a good slalom skier, as you see right here. And she had an excellent first run.
Yeah, she was tied with Tamara, which is kind of neat.
She is a big gal. How does that play a factor in slalom as opposed to the little gals like Erica Hess and Tamara McKinney?
Well, it's unusual to see a girl this big. No offense, Olga. She's just a big, strong girl. She's good in giant slalom and downhill. It's unusual to have a girl this size running in slalom. They are usually small and very compact.
She had a 19th in the first slalom, but on this run, she had an outstanding run. As you see her cross the finish line in 50.53. At that time, she was in first place. But then, along came American Tamara McKinney. 8th year on the World Cup. She, the 23-year-old from Olympic Valley, California, a former World Cup champion, not back in 1983, and she was psyched for this one.
She's having a good December so far, Mike. I think she's happy with it. She, as you said, she had a good result earlier in another slalom. She was 10th. Let's see what she can do here. This course, it's steeper than it looks on television. It's a pretty steep course. It never really flattens out, so the girls don't have any time to sort of sit back on their heels and relax.
And as Bob Beatty pointed out, with the man-made snow, it is a very hard, icy course, and that could mean that it'll hold up, especially in this turn 30 format. That's significant, isn't it?
It will be very significant on the second run.
Tamara, good first run, it looks like. Just had a couple of little problems, but nothing major.
No, Tamara's skiing really well. I think she's, you know, excited about the year. She wasn't too happy with last year, and she maybe has a new frame of mind.
There's Olga's time on the right, on the left, rather, of your screen, and look at that. The same exact time for Tamara McKinney, down to the 100th of a second. They were tied for the lead at that point in the competition in this first run.
That's got to be kind of a funny feeling for Tamara. It's unusual to tie like that.
But then, along came two-time World Cup champion Erica Hess, 23-year-old dynamo from Switzerland.
Tamara's little nemesis here, Erica Hess. Let's see what she does.
She started off the year very hot, a second place at Sestriere, Italy in the opening slalom, this now being the second slalom of the year. And of course, she's got the hometown fans rooting for her. Those cowbells have to help you go down the hill.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, think of the LA Olympics, how it helped us out in Lake Placid, how the hockey team won against the Russians way back then. It really does help. She hears it. She's concentrating on her course, but she really does hear her fans, and she feels it. And it can be enough to make just that much of a difference. You know, a few tenths of a second.
Hitting every gate as she goes by, too.
She's a nice skier. Watch how compact she stays. You don't see any extra movement. Her arms aren't flying all over the place. Nice turns.
She was determined to do well on this run, and indeed she did. There's the lead time on the left, and there's Erica Hess's time, and she takes over the lead by 25/100th of a second. After the first run, she is the leader.
Looks pretty happy.
That means, of course, she'll be the last racer to come down in the second run, and they do take the combined times, once again, of those two runs to determine the final order.
She can't really rest back on her heels too much, Mike, because she's got some young Swiss right behind her that are just fighting for her position.
How much time between runs do they get to think about all this?
Well, they've got a while now. They've got to go back and regenerate for the second run.
Let's take a look back on Eva Twardokin's run, one of the top American ski racers, just 20 years old from Reno, Nevada. She had a little bit of misfortune, not only by losing her skis earlier in the week and having to go to the Rosenthal factory and finding a new pair, that would work well for her, but also on this run, as she's really trying to uncork it, she had a little problem.
Yeah, it looks what happens is she's so excited here and trying so hard that she's just a little reckless. You've got to ski that fine line of going all out, but still being in good control and precise in slalom.
And there's the big problem.
Yeah, that's a rough break for Eva. She started out the season so well. She has some good results, so she doesn't have to worry too much, but still, you know, you want every race to be good. Okay, what she does here from the very start, you can see it. Her skis jet out from under her after every turn. You can see how they accelerate. That's the way they're built. They're built to accelerate out of every turn. And right there, she just was sitting back and on her heels, and leaned right in. You could see her arm come down on the snow.
There's a tight turn there.
It's a very tight turn, and a lot of the girls had trouble right there.
Well, it's been a rough and now a tumble week for Eva Twardokens. Bobby had a chance to talk with Twardokens about these misfortunes.
Eva, tell me about that first run of slalom.
Well, I just tried to go as fast as I could, and I felt a little bit behind, and I started scrambling and lost my thinking a little bit and fell.
A little bit behind him.
Yeah, I was behind him, but I think I was still running pretty fast, and I didn't feel too out of control. And then when I hit the flat, I thought that I had to make up a little, and I let it go a little much and hooked the tip. Okay,
now you had your ski stolen in France last week, earlier this week actually. Did it have an effect? Are the new skis good for you?
I think so. It took a lot of time in Val d'Isère to test all the new skis. Usually we start testing in the middle of the summer, and you know, we have our prime skis ready, and I had all my skis stolen, and I had to start from square one and test them all again. So I think that my skis were good today, and I think that that's not going to be a problem.
Second run. Sylvia Eder is the racer on course. Remember, we take the combined time of the two runs. She was 16th after the first run.
She's carrying the weight of the Austrian team today, along with another couple girls. Let's see what she can do down here.
Remember, we're in a reverse 30 format, Vicki Fleckenstein, where the top racer from the first run will be the very last racer to come down the hill. That's going to be significant. With Erika Hess, the leader after the first run, should be last. Right now, we're looking at Austrian Sylvia Eder. That's the split time and intermediate time.
She's looking really aggressive. I think she's pretty hungry for this one. Watch down here as it gets a little straighter. You don't have to turn across the hill quite as much. You can see how they just mow those gates right over with their forearms or their knees, whatever can knock the pole out of their way.
And the time for Eder, 53.26, will put her into first place, at least momentarily. She did have a lot of time to make up on the leader, Erika Hess, after the first run. Hess, again, will be the very last competitor in this contest.
She's got a bit of a weight down there. Sylvia Eder, she's got to wait and see.
Can someone from that position, 16th after the first run, win a race like this?
Oh, sure. It's been done before, and especially with the new format, it makes it a little easier. Well, not really easier, but it makes the race very fair. It gives those later runners a better chance. I mean, look at here, number 26. She wasn't one of the first ones on the first run, but
Teja Svet from Yugoslavia on course. She was 15th after that first run.
Just 2 years ago, she wasn't even really on the World Cup. This is only her second full year on it. She was racing in America on our NORAM circuit and did very well. She has a style all her own. It's not a lot like the Swiss or the Austrians. She has a little bit of a different arm position.
When you say the Swiss or the Austrians, you mean all Swiss racers or all Austrians race the same way?
Well, you pick up different styles. All the Austrians look a little bit like each other, and same with the Americans. They ski a lot together, so they pick up the same style.
Is that because of the coaching?
Both. I think coaching and also just watching each other and following each other turn after turn after turn. She's having an excellent run here. She's a young girl. She's only 17 years old.
That's time, 53.24. That'll give her a combined time 144.87, and that will move her into first place.
This Yugoslav is one to watch, I think. She's so young to be doing that well, and so quickly. I mean, only 2 years on the World Cup.
With not much of a very deep team.
Not really, but I'll tell you, it's coming on. There's a lot of Czechoslovakians and the two Polish girls that are very good.
If they ever get the opportunity to race.
If they ever do.
That's a whole nother story. Carolyn Beer is up next. She, the 21-year-old Austrian, is in her second year on the World Cup as well. Slalom, her specialty, and let's watch her. A very small, compact racer.
Yeah, she is. She's pretty short. She's another Austrian, so she's got to carry that same weight.
We've been watching the ski racers going right over these poles. Of course, they do have a hinge at the snow level, so they do break away from the skier. But what about the fact that you come now to a small gal like this? Does she have the strength and ability to go over the poles like some of the other racers?
Well, she does, Mike. She may look small, but she's very strong. She's in good shape from tip to toe. And the poles do knock right over out of your way. She's run so many gates that knocking the poles over doesn't really affect her turn at all. In fact, if you watch their body, it really doesn't do much at all as it goes around the gate. It coils up a little bit and then accelerates out of the turn, but the poles don't affect your body all that much.
And here she comes, Carolyn Beer across the finish line, and 52.87 will be good enough to move her now into first place after the 2 runs combined, 144.31. She moves ahead of Svet by about a half a second. So a very good run there for Carolyn Beer.
With this new format now, she just stands in the finish area there, and all the girls that are coming down now are girls that beat her on the first run. So she really has to watch with eagle eyes to see who comes down.
Not that she can do much about it.
Not really.
Nadia Bonfini is just 20 years old. She's from Italy. On course here, her first year racing on the World Cup Tour.
And she started out with a decent result in Sestriere, 13th place.
She's a psychology student too, Vicki. That is a very important factor in skiing psychology. I imagine her training might help her a bit as a ski racer.
I think so. Some coaches say psychology is as much as 95% of the game.
Really?
Well, especially at this level. These girls all know how to turn well. In fact, a lot of them look very much alike. What your head can do and how you can use your determination and motivation on race day.
You can see her split time is just about 0.2 of a second, best of all. And that just shows you how close these ski racers are. We're watching some exceptional skiing from this young Italian, Vicki.
Well, it's deceptive, Mike, because she doesn't look like she's going that fast. She is so relaxed.
But smooth across the finish line, 52.25. That blows away the competition on this run. And with a 143.37 combined, she takes over the lead by a full second.
Let's see what she does here. I say she looks relaxed. I can tell you she is really on her toes and very precise and sharp. It does look a little hard, the snow. Watch her legs from the hips down. Watch how it vibrates on the snow a bit there.
She really accelerated out of those turns. In the starting gate, she from Italy, the leader right now, another Italian, Nadia Bonfini, with an excellent second run to take over the lead.
More than likely, Quario knows about Bonfini's great run. Coaches all have radios at the top, radioing up results. So that could really psych her up to have a teammate standing in first place right now.
Quario is more or less the team leader on this Italian team, with 10 years on the national team.
Yeah, she's been around a long time.
She's racked up 4 victories. All of those have come in this type of an event, slalom.
You can see the similar style. She looks a little bit like Bonfini. In between turns, she stands a little erect. She doesn't bend her knees quite as much as some of the other teams do, the Americans, for instance.
Oh, she's in trouble and out of the course as she misses a gate there.
Wow, that was disappointing for her.
She was really bouncing around on the ruts. Let's take another look.
Okay, she looks all right there. Coils up right by the gate, gets in a compact position. Oh, got way caught off balance. See, you carry speed out of the turn, but you can't let it throw you too far. You've got to handle your speed.
Here's a gal who really knows how to handle speed. Perrine Pallon of France, 9-year veteran of World Cup racing. She's had 12 career victories. All of those have come in slalom.
Perrine's a great lady. All the Americans seem to like her. When we used to have lousy races, we always used to hope for Perrine to come through with something.
She sits a little bit further back on her skis than a lot of the racers.
Yeah, see the different style? Her knees are bent almost the entire time. She uses a lot of knee angulation, that side-to-side angle that she makes with her knees with the snow.
Now, would you say that's more of the French technique?
Well, it's sort of Perrine's technique. Not all the French girls do it. Oh, got her into trouble there.
Got laid on that gate.
That is not like Perrine. She never makes mistakes like that. She just must be a little rusty or something, because she is so fluid usually, as you can see right down here. See
quick in that section.
Yeah. She gets her arms out in front of her, even puts her head down.
So 52.7 will not be good enough to pick up the lead, but with a combined time of 143.59, that'll put her into second place behind Nadia Bonfini.
She knows. Perrine's been down enough courses to know that doesn't look like that time is going to stand up, I have a feeling.
A bit disappointed. Quite a wild run for her.
A racer like Perrine, she's used to firsts and seconds and thirds. She's not going to be content with a top 10, I don't think. However, it is early in the season. She may be looking forward to January and February.
Maria Eplebeck, 26-year-old veteran, from West Germany.
See what she's wearing there, Mike? That's the new slalom helmet. And what it does is it knocks the poles out of your way so you don't have to use your arms so much. And it prevents the poles from knocking your goggles around on your face. Watch now, she relies on it a little bit.
She's the only racer wearing that so far.
So far, but I bet there's going to be more girls wearing it because it's a great thing. It's
way back on her skis and straddled a gate out of the course and out of the competition. 8th after the first run, Eplebeck is out.
That's exactly what happened to her in the first slalom this year. She looks fine here, in good balance on her outside ski, and it's exactly what happened to Quario. You generate speed through the turn, and you've got to be able to handle it. You've got to be able to pull your body up over your skis again and not let your skis get away from you.
Rennie Schneider will try and stay right on top of him right now, the 21-year-old, second-year World Cup racer from Switzerland on course here. 7th in the opening slalom of the year in Italy. Got to keep those arms forward, doesn't she?
Yeah, Mike, if they get caught in between your arm and your body, it can really throw your body around. She uses her arms to knock the pole right down. And you can see here just a difference of a couple inches on each turn can make 1/100th of a second difference. And if by the time you get to the finish, that can add up to a few tenths of a second.
Looks like she's boxing with each gate as she hits it with her hand.
She has a very strange style through that one section. She gets a little, what we call reversed. She doesn't face down the hill very well.
But she's really accelerating out of her turns, it appears.
She's carrying great speed. She's so strong, this girl.
Across the finish line, Rennie Schneider's time of 52.8 will give her a combined time, 143.51 that you see, and that will be good enough to move her into second place.